in the heart of a sun-drenched forest nestled between high mountains and rolling green hills, was a sparkling river that wound its way through fields of colourful flowers. It was early morning, and dewdrops sparkled like diamonds on every leaf. Sunlight streamed through the tall trees, casting dancing shadows on the forest floor. Their leaves shimmered in the light, creating a beautiful mosaic of gold and green. In a cozy burrow beneath the roots of an ancient oak tree, a tiny white mouse was waking up from his slumber. He stretched and yawned, then scampered to the entrance of his burrow. Peeking outside, he saw the world painted in the vibrant colors of dawn. With a happy sigh, the little mouse hopped out to explore his favorite nook of the whispering woods. The day was fresh and full of promise, and the little mouse, filled with curiosity and joy, began his daily adventures. He scampered up a nearby tree, its rough bark scratching his tiny paws. From his lofty perch, he looked out over the forest. High above him, tiny robins soared effortlessly through the air, their wings beating in perfect harmony as they glided from branch to branch. The little mouse watched them with wide, envious eyes. "Oh, how I wish I could fly," he sighed, wishing he could join the robins in their graceful dance across the sky. Suddenly, the wind shifted, bringing with it dark, ominous clouds that blotted out the sun. The playful rustling of leaves turned into a menacing shake as the tall trees bowed their heads under the force of the wind. The little mouse, sensing the approaching storm, hurried down the tree and raced back to the safety of his cozy burrow. As the first fat raindrops began to fall, he snuggled deep within his nest of soft leaves and grass, feeling the cool mud of his burrow walls against his back. Outside, the wind grew louder, whipping the trees into a frenzy, and the rain poured down in torrents. After what seemed like hours, the storm began to subside. The wind died down to a gentle breeze, and the rain softened to a light drizzle. As the little mouse cautiously emerged from his burrow, he noticed something unusual. On the ground in front of him lay a small, bedraggled robin, its wing injured and its bright feathers now dull and muddy. For a moment, the little mouse hesitated, unsure of what to do. But his heart, as big as it was small, could not bear to see the poor bird suffering. Gathering all his strength, he gently nudged the robin with his nose. The little bird stirred, letting out a weak chirp. And the little mouse, understanding the urgency of the situation, wasted no time. He carefully lifted the robin's limp body in his mouth and hurried back to his cozy burrow. Inside his home, the little mouse laid the robin down on a bed of soft moss and leaves. He brought water from his secret stash, carefully moistening the bird's ruffled feathers. Then, watching over the helpless creature, he waited patiently for any sign of improvement. Hours turned into days, and the little mouse tended to the robin with unwavering care and devotion. Every morning he would bring fresh water, and every evening he would softly sing to the robin, hoping his soothing voice would comfort the frightened bird. Slowly but surely, the robin began to recover. Its breathing became more regular, its eyes brighter, and its dull feathers started to shine again. One sunny morning, the little mouse awoke to the joyful sight. The robin had regained its strength and was hopping around its makeshift enclosure, chirping merrily. Overjoyed at the bird's recovery, the little mouse rushed to open his burrow. "Go on, little friend," he squeaked, his voice trembling with excitement. "You're free to go." The robin, as if understanding the mouse's words, tilted its head and chirped softly before taking flight. It circled the little mouse once, twice, then landed gracefully on the edge of the burrow. Looking down at the tiny creature that had saved its life, the robin spoke in a voice as sweet as birdsong. "Little mouse, you have shown kindness and bravery beyond your years. For saving my life, I will grant you a wish. Ask, and you shall receive." The little mouse thought for a moment. All he had ever wished for was to fly like the robins, soaring freely through the open sky. But as the realization of his dream drew near, a flicker of fear crossed his face. To be honest, the little mouse had never been particularly fond of heights, and the idea of hurtling through the air, even with a strong bird to support him, filled him with uncertainty. I don't know what to ask for," he stammered. Taken aback by the suddenness of the robin's offer and his own conflicting emotions, seeing the little mouse's hesitation, the robin hopped closer, its gaze full of understanding. "Take your time, little friend," it said softly. "There is no need to rush your decision." As the days passed, the little mouse pondered the robin's offer. He thought about how amazing it would be to fly, to feel the wind beneath his wings, and to be able to reach places he had only dreamed of. Yet, at the same time, he couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. What if he got scared when it was time to jump? What if he couldn't trust the robin to carry him safely? Finally, the day came when the little mouse had to make a decision. The robin, sensing his friend's struggle, approached him one last time before leaving. "Little mouse, whatever your decision may be, please know that I am grateful for your kindness. You have touched my heart, and I will never forget you." With a deep breath, the little mouse looked up at the robin, his heart pounding in his chest. "I'm ready," he whispered, surprising himself with his own bravery. The robin, overjoyed that the little mouse had chosen to follow his dream, let out a joyous chirp. "Then let us go," it said, spreading its wings. Carefully, the little mouse climbed onto the back of the robin, holding on tightly to its soft feathers. As the bird began to rise, the little mouse squeezed his eyes shut, bracing for the sensation of falling. But, instead of plummeting to the ground, he felt the wind ruffling his fur as the robin soared higher and higher. When the little mouse gathered enough courage to peek one eye open, he gasped in amazement. The forest, with its towering trees and meandering river, looked like a miniature landscape spread out beneath them. The little mouse laughed in delight, feeling the wind lift his spirits and carry away his fears. From that day forward, the little mouse and the robin became the best of friends. They spent their days exploring the vast expanse of the sky, playing hide and seek among the clouds, and chasing butterflies that dared to flutter too close to their path.